companies that have branches all across different locations, they have a structured platform that they collect data. Okay, they try to structure the data coming from these different locations. For example, in this US order table, let me, there's a filter, okay. In this US order table, for example, you can see that they've structured their data, their sales data or their order data to collect sales transaction or any other transaction in this format. You can see that column A is row, order ID, order date, and so on. This is how they collect their data. So they're going to use this same, platform all across of the different locations to collect data this way in this structured format. So if another location, for example, structured their platform different from this, then they're going to create a lot of data problem because you have to do a lot of ETL, and in the process, you might lose valuable data. So to avoid that, companies have structured system or application. For example, is Salesforce right now. Company might deploy Salesforce to collect transactions all across different locations. They will use the same format of collecting the data all across. So as you are pulling the data together, you have the data structured in the same manner, just as we have for this US here and for this global. You can see, let me also maximize this and make this a little bit. You can see that this global here also has almost the same structure. Oh, are we jumping? Okay. So you can see row ID, order ID, and so on. So they structure it to collect data in order to sync their data collection. So in this instance, since you are collecting data from different locations, for you to combine those data as a lump sum data in the database, you have to always union the data. Let's say you collect sales transaction from Georgia and from New York, and you want to combine it. In that instance, you have to union the data because they are the same data but for different locations. And we saw that once you are doing a union, Tableau Prep or any other ETL tool will always create a table name to let you know which file and which file, and which to identify which file that belongs to different location or different category. Okay, so if we have the requirement to combine this data here, transfer. Let's say every month or every Monday, our locations or our sales team will drop an Excel file for you in a shared drive or somewhere, and you have to transform the data and combine with the data already in your SQL server. For example, let's say we have our superstore here. This is our table. Oh, sorry. This is our table. So your duty is to use Tableau Prep to transform all the data coming every week, and then you concat it with this other table already in your database. So all you have to keep doing is just keep unioning the data and then union it with the whole data, so that you can have a lump sum data that you can analyze as a whole. And you can also, dissect the data as time goes on. So in this our requirement, we assume that this is our global data coming from every other state, every other country, and we have the one for our US. So our requirement is to combine these two data and load them into our data warehouse for future use. So this was why we use union to combine this one here and this one here. And we did the same thing for the for the returns, and for the people table. Now we got to a point whereby we now have to combine our union data, all of our union data here. You can see we did union here, and union here. Now, to combine all of our union data, we cannot do another union again. We have to join them using either left join, inner join, or right join. Okay, so let's start the whole process again. And at first, what did we first do? We connected to our data. Yeah. In this instance, we are using Excel. I'll bring in my global superstore. And I said you can use this data interpreter. You know, it's up to you. Or you cannot use it. It's up to you. Okay, but it helps, especially when you're working with like with CSV files. You can use this with CSV file, and then we're going to bring in our other file, which is the US data, which is this sample superstore. So now we have two data sources here. So if you look at our Excel, we have other table, people table, and returns. So we have three database in this Excel, because this is a database holding all the data for the sales transaction. This is another one holding the data for returns, and this is holding for the managers. So for us to combine the order from the global and the order from the US, we have to union them because they are the same structure, the same data, but for different locations. We cannot do a join, because if we join them, we are just elongating and duplicating the data. So the first thing we did yesterday was to bring in the order table from the global, and we add a step.
We name it.
You have to. I will call these anything. Let's say global SS superstore. It doesn't matter. Okay, so that we can keep track of how the data is flowing along. And quickly, we have a problem yesterday that we're supposed to look at, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah, so maybe let's quickly move on so we can solve that problem. And again, it's a typical problem every day. You will do something and people will say, okay, we have this problem, fix it, okay? So it is part of the job. You are a solution person in the organization. So now we have the order from the global superstore, and then let's go to the order from the US superstore and bring in the order here. So by clicking on the data source, it gives you all of the tables in that data source, and just drag it in. We can move this down a little bit. Let's add a step. And we can call this US SS forever. So now we have these two tables here. So since this table and this are the same structured data, but for different locations, what is the best way to combine them? Union join. Yeah, and then we just drag this here and leave it in union. Now, if you look at this input here, it shows you what union is. It's like putting this data on top of this data, or putting this on top of this. But this also help you to color code, okay, to tell you which data is this. And always keep an eye when you are doing a union in any kind of application, even in Power Query, you will still have this table name by default, because it's going to tell you that this data here belongs to this location, for this file, and this is coming from this file. For me personally, I like to keep this table in my data whenever I'm doing data transformation.
Okay.
That is a report I did recently on some videos, how people are watching some videos training in my organization. And they wanted to know how many people are watching on the company web server and those are watching on the WebEx. So I combined the WebEx data with the organization web data. It just gives me this table. All I have to do also rename this to like WebEx and my company name. And when I went to Tableau Desktop, I just showed the count. So it gave me the count of people watching here and watching here. That solved my problem. Very easy. So to me, I like to keep this, but again, it depends on how you want to use your data. It might not be relevant, but just always keep it in your flow. In case you need it in the future, you can just come back in here and make it available, or you might not export it with your data outflow, but keep it in your flow. So if you need it in the future, you feel like, okay, this is going to make my job easy, just come back in here and rename it. So in this instance, this one right here is the data coming from our global superstore. I'll just rename this to global superstore. I'll rename this as well to
Sample superstore.
A sample superstore. You can just, for now, just call it US superstore. Okay. And now we have, it shows that 3 mismatch fields from 25 feet. We have 3 mismatch fields, blah, 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 market, shipping order, the shipping cost, and shipping priority. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Let's leave it for now. And we can just add another step here. I will call this our order data. Okay. So now these two now has become one. This order and an order from here, because we have combined them to become one. Now, if this is what they want you to do in your organization, just combine these two data, you are done with your requirement. You just create an attribute here and spit it out to your database. That's all. Okay, but now we still have some requirement. We want to also union these tables from these two data sources and combine them into one large data set. Now, you can also just, once you know how to use Tableau or understand how this thing works, you can say, okay, I will not join them. I will just do the union here. For example, I can just come in here, bring in my people table here, create a step, come here, and bring in my people table as well. Let me just drop this here. Add a step and just union these two, and then
which one?
We are done with the orders now. Remember, we have 3 tables in each of the.
Yeah, the second one that we create the union for.
Yeah, we are creating the union now for the people, which is the managers.
Okay.
So you can also, okay, you want to just speed them out separately, but if you have to use all this table in Tableau, you still have to do a join in Tableau level. So for you to remove all some of those work from Tableau desktop, you can just do everything here. Okay, you get it? You can do it separately and keep the data separate in your database and do your join in Tableau desktop, or you can just combine everything here and you don't have to do no join in Tableau. So for me, I prefer to do it here. Okay, so but when you start understanding this, you are free to choose how you want to do your join. Okay, so I'll call this global what? People. Let's call this US people. And let's add a step to this. So this is our output right here. Now, yesterday, who can tell us the challenge that we have in this? If I click on this global people now, no, this is actually the US people. Okay, that was in return. Okay, this is good. Yeah, this one was good. We have that issue with the returns. So I will call this, let's call this step here our return data.
Not return. People
data. All right, we can call them manager because the people actually the manager data. Okay, so now lastly, we're going to go back in here and bring in our return in here. Let's add a step. This is the global return. And let's bring in the US return now. So we need to combine these two just as we did for the rest as well. We do a union and we add a step. So now I will call these our return data. So now we have all of our returns. Now, but in this return here, we have some issue yesterday because in this global return, we have the markets. But if you look at the US here, we don't have the market field. That's because US is just looking at US. But for the global, it's looking at all of the global, but it's also flagging each returns where they are being returned from. Okay, so don't let this throw you off. Now, I would say when we do this union, it's still going to work, but where, for example, where this US data here does not have no market, it's going to come out as what? No. We don't have like no, like see, like what we have here. This no here represents the US data. And if we look at here, sorry, here, we see that there are some other data returns as coming from the US, United States. And yesterday we investigated that. Okay, let's see if this data here and for the US and this, if they were the same data, but they were not, right?
Right.
Even though they are similar, they have different dates, different other periods. So we say that they are not. So now, since we have US data here, we cannot have US, United States. So we need to like combine this null value. No, sorry. We need to combine this null value here with this United States because we know that this null value here is coming from this US data. So let's combine them so that this null here can be merged with this data here. All right. Now, yesterday, Daniel said something that we can group them. Yes, we can group them. For example, if I want to group right now, you can, in Tableau Prep, it's very easy. It's very, very easy. You can click on this little dot here and go to group values. So now you can use, like, say, if you have a lot of items there, maybe there are so many, you can use this AI built into Tableau to combine them to say, okay, anyone that sounds similarly or have this character or spelling, just group them, or you can group them manually. So in this case, I don't want to use any of this AI. I already know that I want to combine these null values to the United States. So let's see if this is going to work here. Group value, manual, and I'm going to drag this. I'm going to click on this, hold my shift key down, and you can just click on here. And now you can see that these two is being grouped together here, but it's still naming it as null. That was because I click on the null first before the United States. So all I can do here, I can just double click here and rename it. Or another way, let me do Ctrl+Z. You can simply, let me click out, sorry. Come on. Let me come back here again and click on Group Manual. In this case, I'm going to click on the US first, and then I'll click on the null and click Done. So it groups them for me automatically. So all of the null value now, so it's just under here. Or we can create a calculation like we did yesterday. If we go back to our yesterday flow here, we see that we created a calculation here, in here, that gave us this. Remember?
Yeah.
And the calculation is, where is it? We use the file name to say, if the table name equals USA, then call it United States, else give me the market. Okay, so which one is more easier for you? The grouping or the calculator field?
I think the group.
At least you know different ways to do it. But in the instance where the grouping, sometimes data behave differently. Maybe we have multiple nulls for this market and this market. We can just hard code it so that you know that they are being hard coded, or you can say use this. It's up to you. Okay. So we have our result here, and let me click out of here. So now our requirement has been met in bringing in all our data into, we have two data from two different data sources, but we've combined them into one data each now. So instead of 6, we have 3. Okay. Somebody's asking a question. Okay, all right. Thanks, Daniel. So now that we have combined our data sources, so we still need to combine all of this data, these 3 data into one. So now we from 6 data from here, we have 3 here, and we have 3 here. So instead of 6 multiple files, we now have one lump sum file. So in this instance, how do we combine all of this? The data here in these 3 data are not the same. They're not structured the same, but they have a relationship. So for us to combine this, we cannot use union again, because if we use union, we're going to have a lot of null values, and we will not have a meaningful analysis to them. So we need to join them together using the join, different type of join. So let's start our joining from by starting with the manager to the order. I will just drag this table here, come over here and drop it on join. Now automatically Tableau is smart enough to know that this table, well, now who can tell me why is it picking table names automatically for the join? Why? Dada?
Can you repeat
Go ahead.
the question?
Why is Tableau Prep picking table names as the automatic table to join with? We've not specified how we want it to join, but it's just picking this table name automatically. Why?
That's the relationship between them.
Not really. Now look at the output. It said nothing is included, but the table name title are the same. Remember what I told you guys in the last class? Sometimes the table might have the same name. Tableau will automatically pick those table names because they are the same. But a lot of times, the data in those tables might not be the same. You have to be careful using that, because just because a table name have the same name does not mean the data in there is the same. And that is exactly what is going on here. So Tableau think that table names in this data here and this is the same data, so it's just joining automatically with that. But the data in there is not the same kind of data, so nothing is joining. So it excluding all of the results because it's the data in those tables is not the same. So when you are doing a join, make sure that the data actually contained in that field is the same data coming out from the other data source. The table name might be the same, it might not be the same. For example, in one field, in one file, you can call employee ID. In another file, they might call it associate ID. Even though they are not the same title, but they are still the same data because it's employee ID, whether it's called employee ID or associate ID, right? So in this instance, we have to change this join clause here. We are not going to tell Tableau, we are not joining with these table names. We want to join here. What relationship do we have in this manager here? Manager, we have the regions, and in our main data field here, we have the region as well. That is only relationship they have in the data. So we have to go back to our join here and join with region. Look for region here, here, and click on region. So now, because the data contained in those fields is the same, you can see it's joining now. So we're having some results so far, even though there are still some exclusion here. Now, why is this excluding 5,000 results? Again, if your requirement says that we only want you to bring in the data where this other table is equals to managers, this is your result. So this 5,000 from the other table here does not meet that requirement. So just exclude it. Okay, but if they say bring in all of the data, all of the other data, and where it's matching with the managers, then you don't want to lose this 5,000 data. Else, if they want to validate your data, it might not add up. Some cells might be missing, some people might be missing, some others might be missing. That's because of your join. So if you, in the real life, if you're having some validation problem and you're trying to validate your data and say this thing is not adding up, and you check, see that it's not adding up, go and check how you join. That's why for me, to save myself all of this, I always do a left join in the real life, because I know that the data here holds the main data. That is what they want to analyze. These two data here is just to categorize some item or sales in here. So for me, I always do left join because I don't want to lose anything in my main table. Okay, so now I do a left join by clicking this left join here. So everything is coming in, and we have only one item missing. And Tableau Prep will show you this. You can see that here in this region here, we have EMAI, we have AMEI.
You know, we had that problem yesterday too.
Yes, and during our investigation, we saw that this one is African emerging market, right? And this might be a typo. In the real life, if you want to like ask question, is this a typo or anything? If they say yes, it is a typo, this is actually supposed to be AMEA and so on. You don't have to worry. You can just double click here and edit it here. This is why Tableau Prep is so easy to use. Just rename that field here and click OK. Click out. Tableau Prep will just fix it, and we see that our data here is clean.
Well, yesterday we go with EMEA. EMEA is the
yeah, I know. Okay, whatever it is, whatever they tell you to use, just do it, okay? But I'm just showing you how to fix it.
Right.
Okay, without AMA and all that, just fix it. Now, so now we see that we have our correct data. Now, if you are using like Python, you have to write some code to fix this. Even in SQL, you have to write a code, you know, to pull that one, this AME out and rename it as this, and then add it back. But with Tableau Prep, just a click to fix it. Okay, and this is why you have to know Tableau Prep, because a lot of people are switching to this right now, switching to this. And you know, very soon, Informatica will have to catch up with Tableau Prep. It's just the truth, you know. So now we have this already here. Everything looks good. Again, we see that because we are combining, okay, this table here is coming from this table from this two table here. Okay, for now, you can just leave it. Or since, remember, we have 3 union here, 1, 2, 3. So you're gonna have this table coming in all of your joining, because they're coming from all of the data sources. Like I said, you can exclude them, but for me, I like to be smart, because like I said, I can make use of this table to just easily solve my problem in the future, even though I might not really need it at my data output. So what I want to do here, I will come back here for me. I will come back to my join here and rename this table. For example, this one, we know that this one here, you cannot rename this table. You cannot. Tableau Prep will not let you do some renaming here. I don't think it's not going to. It will not let you do. Let's see. We call this table. Is it Tableau Prep or Power Query? One of them will not let you rename this table, but let's see. Let me do Ctrl Z. Table name, I'll call this table name, I'll just put dot order here. So I know that this is my union for my order data, okay? And I'll come in here, I'll rename this. So I know that this table here is for my what? People or manager. Okay, doesn't matter. And let's do the same thing for this. I'll rename this, I'll call this dot returns. Now, dot returns, okay. Oh no, sorry, that's a typo there. So now when we get to our full data, you understand why I'm trying to like label my data for future purposes, okay? So now we have this, I'm going to create a step here. Like I said yesterday, you can just drag this here. For example, adding a step, you can just drag this here and just do a join. But for me, again, I like to just add a step in case I need to do a cleaning in the future for these two data here. I don't have to break this flow. I can just come in here and do my flow, and it will flow into my output. So this is why I'm doing this. Okay. So I'm just going to add another step here. I'll call this order plus manager. Now we need to join this lastly to this as well. Come on. Join. Now Tableau is smart enough to pick up other ID, and which is the one that we want to use. But again, we don't want to lose out any data. If I scroll up right now, we see that because we are doing inner join, so it's been excluded. It's 8,000 record. Now, if I just, who can tell me if I just output this data as it is, what data am I looking at? Am I looking at all of my other data or returns?
I think it's only the returns you're looking at.
Absolutely, yes, because right now, because we do inner join, it's only joining, it's only bringing in only the returns data. So if in the real life they said we want to identify the return data in all of this data here, what do? You just do inner join. Inner join will bring in where the returns data here is equals to this and exclude the non-returns. So, but if they say bring in, they want to see all of the data, then you have to change your join. Again, for me, I'll do my left join because I want all of my data from the other table to come in, and we fix this. Okay. Let's add a step. So we cannot call this here, let's call this order plus manager plus return. Okay.
Yeah.
Now you can just continue formatting your stuff here, but for me, I would like to add a step because in the future maybe I need to like do something for calculation. I don't want to break this 3 join here, so I'll add a step by adding a step. So I know this is all of my data here. This here, my full data combined, and I can do some other manipulation I want to do in this step. It's still the same thing. So now you see that here we have our all of our table name for the returns, for the order ID, and for this. So at this point here, I can just come in here. I don't need this. I will remove this join name. I will remove this. And I will remove this. I don't need it. So now in this step here, I remove them. But if I need to make any change based on those table in the future, I can come to this step here. I have them in this step. But now I have them in this step. I don't have them here. So this is why I do my stuff this way. But you can do it however you feel, needful for you. Okay. Is that clear?
What if it is we're using the left join now? What if we use the right one?
The right join will only bring in, wait, hold on. Are you talking of this step here?
No.
Yeah.
I'm saying generally we're using the left. What if we use the right?
It depends on which data you bring in first. Let's say you bring in your global people first, and you bring in your order table below. So your order table will become right join. Okay, just look at it. Which one do we have first here is the order table. So this one will always be on the left. But if you flip it, maybe you brought in this one first and this one second, then you have to do right.
You're right. Okay.
Yeah. Nice question. So now let's look at our data. We have some null values here. Why do we have this null value?
Those are the null return.
No, in this market here, remember in the return, we have, let's go to this file here. In the returns here, we have for this market, okay? And for the return for this other,
Okay, there's no return.
return here, sorry, I keep opening the same one. Okay, I open multiple. Let me close this. I don't need this. Okay. In in the returns here, we don't have no markets. But in the return for the global, we have the for the market. So if we look at our data now, for this market here, this is also US data.
Yes.
Right? Because in the US data, anyone that does not contain in the market is going to put them as null. Right?
Yeah.
So how do we fix this? Let's still use the same grouping techniques to group this with the US, because if you look at the global data here, we have US here. Why is it spelled differently? Let's see what's going on. Where's my filter? So United States here is called United States here. Okay, this is the market. Where is this market coming from?
That one is for global.
For the global. So, but here is called United States, and here we're having US. Okay, maybe Tableau have a way of shortening this, but we fixed something the other time. Let's go back and see where we merge. Where did we merge? So we fixed this market here for this return here.
Right.
Yeah, we took the United States.
Yeah, so
We grouped
fixed
them.
this. Okay, I know what's going on now. So we don't have to fix that. We fixed that already. Now, because we are unioning, we are joining other table. For example, we are joining with the people manager here. Remember, the people manager does not have that column here. So because we are joining multiple value, anyone that does not have the data, you're going to put them as null. So null value here actually represents, where is the market? Oh, sorry, I'm on the wrong one. Apologies. So this null here is coming out from the data that does not have no returns. Okay, so we're just going to leave this as it is. Don't touch it. Okay, so now these are the market. These are the items that we are not returned. So Danny asked something yesterday that can we name them here as non-returns? I will say no, but we still have to flag them to know which item we are returned, which item we are not returned. And how do we accomplish that? We have a field here that says return yes, or if it's returned yes, and we only have yes for that value here, because if the item is returned, they show up in this column. Okay, so I will look for the return, for example. So now we have the return here. So this one here that says yes, these are all of the returned items. But this null, because they've not been labeled, is going to come as
null.
No. So we need to rename this now. And there are two ways to do it. The other way, the first way is what we did yesterday by creating a calculated field. I will say is return, or you can call it whatever you want to call it. I'll just say is return. So we bring in to say if return equals yes, then
Return.
Hey, Nana, what are you doing here?
let's call this return.
Okay, Mommy.
Else not return.
Not return. And so what we're saying that if this return here is equals to this yes, then those are the return. Then all of this null value, they are not returned. If we click apply, so we can see that if we click on null return now, it's giving us all of these null values. If we click on yes, it's highlighting the null return. Now, another way to also do it is to use Daniel's technique, group. Just come here, and or you can even just double click here and rename it no. Just call it no. Or let's call it not returned. What's wrong with my typing today? Not returned. See? So now if you click on return, you have yes, not returned, not returned. And this is what Tableau Prep is so easy to use. You can just quickly group. In Python, you have to write so at least 3 lines of code to get this done, even in SQL. So however you want to do it. But for me, I don't like this grouping. I like to do some hard coding because something might change in the future and this grouping will break. You start wondering why you're having some values in your report that you don't supposed to have. So if I would rather prefer to hard code this way so that in the future I can look at this return and investigate to say, okay, why do we have extra value here? If I click on the return, it's going to highlight those are those values, and I can also click the 2 values, and I know why we're having extra values or not. So it's easier for me to investigate. So again, it depends on how you want to do it once you get comfortable with it. Okay. So which method should we keep? This or this?
I think the 2 are okay. At least if you want to group, you can group. And if you don't want to group, you can leave it.
Okay, all right. So we are done with that. And now we have to clean up any duplicates from as a result of our joining and all that. For example, we join here by manager or by people. So if I go to people, what field is it called in our data? Let me see here. Okay, it's called person. So if I look for person right now, so this one is coming up as 1 person. Okay, so it didn't show the 2. Suppose. Okay, that is no here. How did we join here? We join here using region. So because we join with region, we're going to have 2 duplicate regions. And what did we say yesterday? Okay, regions and region 1. So what did we say yesterday? We can either
merge them or remove one.
Yeah, but in some cases, depending on the data size, for example, if you look at here, we have 13 unique values and we have 13 unique values here. In some cases, you might have like 20 values here and 5 values here. So if you want to exclude, be careful. If you go exclude the one that have large values, you're going to start finding us asking questions where are the rest data. So instead of excluding, I said let's just merge them together. Okay, and merge field. And we also do some joining here using the order ID. So we're going to have a duplicate order ID. So now this order ID is a typical example. If you look at this here, we have 30,000 unique values. While here we have 1,000 unique values. So if I want to exclude these 2 now, if I exclude this, what have I done?
You lost your data.
That's because this one here is for the return. So it shows that they have 1,000 return item, but this is the whole orders. So I can as well just exclude this if I have to exclude, because this values is already contained here. But again, you can merge, it's up to you. Let's just merge, no. And let's merge this value. And that fixed our problem. So yesterday we said something about looking at your. Let me move this up a little bit. Typically from here we're done. Okay, so let's just look at our data type to make sure that our data are coming in properly. So we can as well just fix them here so that we don't have to worry about fixing anything at the desktop level. So let's look here, making sure your string is actually string, your row ID, for example, this one coming up as a whole number. Is it a whole number?
Yeah.
It's string.
Who say yeah? Can you tell us why?
Wait.
Rule ID, is it a whole number? Even though it's a number.
I think it's a whole number because
it's not a whole number. Role ID is like just to identify you. You cannot aggregate, multiply, or subtract.
or subtract from it.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's like your employee ID. Your employee ID does not increase. It does not decrease. It's just like that. So it's a number that identifies you. So even though it's a number, it's not a whole number. A whole number is number that you can increase, decrease, multiply, or subtract. You cannot aggregate it. So we have to fix this here and just make it a string.
Yeah.
Customer ID is coming out properly. And all this country, this here at the prep level, it shows as ABC, but at the desktop level, that will fix that automatically. So let's not worry about that. Now we have two markets. For example, let's look. So we have market 1, market 2. So why do we have this? Why do we have this two duplicate markets? Why? Quick. Let's look at our.
This was when we had, we're almost closing yesterday. We discovered that we have some.
Okay, so we have market here. And in this other one here, we don't have no
market.
So where is that market coming from? So let's check the global data to see if we have anything like market here. Do we have anything like market here? No. Okay, that is the US data. Let's check the global data. Do we have anything like market in our column here? Yes. We have a market here. So this is what. So this market here shows the market for the, okay, for example, this sales was made in this market. This sales was made in this market. But the other market here is just showing up the market that item was sold, and I mean the item that was returned where it was sold.
Maybe that was one of the for the three mismatch that we noticed earlier at the beginning of.
Yeah. So now, how do we fix this? Do we
exclude?
This is the one for yesterday. So do we merge this one or do we exclude?
Let's merge. We need to merge.
Why do you want to merge?
Because the one that was returned, you don't know whether it's still going to
this one
affect the data.
Okay, now, for example, let's take Walmart, for example. You purchase an item in Walmart, maybe you're traveling, to Georgia and you purchase an item in Georgia Walmart. So on your way getting to Arizona, you realize that that product was not good. So you went to Arizona Walmart and returned it there and you got your refund. So the sales is going to show that you sold that item in Georgia market, Walmart market. Okay, I mean Georgia Walmart market, but you returned that item in Arizona Walmart market. So how do you want to fix that? If we eliminate this or merge them?
You have to match them.
That's what I'm saying. If you merge them, so how do you categorize those items that were purchased in one location but returned in a different location?
It's still going to count it as returned.
If you want to identify the market where it was returned, how do you do that?
Okay, I think in this case, if you look at the naming convention of the market, this one says market one. That means you have to keep this one as market one. So the item return will be under that market.
Yes, Daniel is on the right track. For me, I will just rename this. I'll just return markets. I'll just put in brackets a return. Just put something to identify that this market is returned. Just leave it independently. So if you want to analyze your sales for your market or for your order or profit or whatever, you use this one. But if you want to analyze your returns, whatever, you use this one.
Second.
So you see that there is no really direct way. So this is how this is the conventional way of data cleaning. You have to be able to think and flag your data. Now,
but if the market two is removed, that means we can't filter that one that was returned because it's not going to show in the market one.
Now, remember, we are dealing with a large data here. We can still filter it out to say, okay, this item was returned, but it might be showing the return item where it was purchased. You see it, for example, now if I remove this row now and I want to count how many items were returned in Canada, if I use this Canada date here, then I'm going to get the item that were sold in Canada and returned. But it does not really tell me where it was returned. This item purchased in Canada might have been returned in the United States. Maybe the person that purchased it was traveling and he got the item in Canada, and when he got home, the item was bad, so he returned it in the United States. So it's going to still show me that the item sold in Canada was returned. But it might not really give me a full picture of where the item was returned. You get it?
Yeah, Lucky. Can you put your cursor on APAC for the two market? Let's see what is given up. Okay, 786 rows. And the other one, 11,000 rows. And the other one is still showing 7. Okay, how about those two null values? Let's check how many. 19,000, 0%, the other one.
88.
Remember, this one here is for the return. So this null here are the items that were not returned.
So because since we have renamed it as not returned earlier,
we did not rename it here.
As not returned.
We did not rename it here, but there is another flag that shows us these null values. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
We did not rename it here, so it is not going to show here as not returned here. This is not where you did it.
Okay.
So just leave the null value here. Just leave it here. So if you want to see those that are not returned, go back to your calculations and use, for example, this is where we flag them here, not return or return, and then we created another calculation. Let me do return, for example. So we flag them here, is return. which is my hard calculation coding. And here, we group them here, returned. But we did not return them here. For example, if I click on not return, you see here, you see, it's highlighting the null value here. Do you see that? If I click on the null here now, it's showing me this null value are the ones not returned. So you don't have to rename them here because this field is just showing you the market. This field is not the field showing you whether they are returned or not. This is the field showing you whether they are returned or not.
Right.
Okay. Is that clear?
Yeah.
Okay. So now, what other challenge did we have yesterday that we said we're going to fix? So let's fix them before we publish it. Was that it?
For yesterday or today?
Yesterday, we said we were going to fix something yesterday.
Yeah, this was it yesterday.
Okay, all right. So, okay, all right. Let's publish this now. So now, let's publish this since everything looks good. We've combined our 6 files into one gigantic file, and it's ready to return our data. They are properly flagged and labeled. So I'm going to add a step output. Now let's say in the real world, you published the one that we did yesterday, and you realize that there are some error, and you redid it again. So how do you now replace what you've already published in the SQL Server with this new one here? You can just replace it. Let me choose, I want to publish this to database and go to my SQL Server. Let me enter my login. I'm going to copy it from here. Sign in. I have to select my database, Superstore. Now, instead of me entering a new name here, since I want to replace this with what I did yesterday, this is what we did yesterday, right? Global order data.
Okay.
So since I've made some change, I need to like fix this data. I'll just click on this. Now it's going to ask me, do I want to append this new data to the one we already have in the database? If I append this now to the, if I leave it as append, it's going to add this to this one here. It's going to add them together, and you have a lot of duplicate. I'm not appending. You only use append. Let's say you've published this one that we have. Let me select my top 100. You've already published this, and you have some new data that is not in here. So you apply the same transformation process to that data, and you need to concat that data with this. So you can just append it to this one that you already have. Data that are not there before, but you just put it or somewhere, you need to add them to this table. So you can just append it. But in this instance, we are not appending, we're trying to replace. So we can just click on replace data. So we want to replace what we already have here because there was something that we needed to fix. Another way of using it, maybe you want to publish this as a new kind of data. Maybe this is a new table and you want to create a new table in your SQL Server, then you click on create. So now, which of these 3 are we going to use?
I think we have to use replace so that it doesn't duplicate it.
Absolutely. So we're going to replace this and click replace data. Now it's showing us these are the ones that are going to be. Okay, remember yesterday we did have this this whole table there. So these are the one that is going to pull in. It's okay. So we are replacing this, and all this new field is coming in. I thought we got rid of this table 1, table 2. So let's go back and see why we still have them there. Do we still have our tables? No, they're not here, so they're gone. Okay, all right. So let's go back to our attributes. Replace data, and then let's run this flow and see what is our attributes. It's going to ask you, do you want to replace this item? Just says yes, replace, and let the flow begin. Okay, so it finished running. And in the real life, don't expect it to be this quick, because if you're dealing with millions of rows of record, it might take 30 minutes, it might take 1 hour, it might take 2 hours, depending on the large, how big the data is. Okay, so now we have our, if you just keep working here in SQL, you will not get the update. So we have to refresh our server to get in the, so let's see what we have here. We have, it's not put return true position. Let me click on this and click on refresh server. Okay, it has refreshed now. So let's go back and view our
Superstore.
Our table.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think even in other words, what we are able to do with what we just did with Tableau Prep right now is a way that, you know, that sometimes they will say you need to add data on the database or add some table or create some table.
Yeah.
On what we just did now with the Tableau Prep, cleaning those data and loading them on the SQL server is more or less also adding data to the database.
Yeah. That's why a lot of companies are deploying Tableau Prep right now. Informatica is the #1 ETL to add there. Informatica holds 70% of the ETL market, you know, but Tableau Prep is simplifying everything, and you know, it's just a matter of months. If Christ starts, Tableau Prep is going to take over, because it's so the hybrid is so exceptional to use, you know. So we have our data here. We didn't publish this table 1, table 2. Why is it showing? Why is it showing? Okay, but our data looks good so far, and let's investigate why we have that.
Move it at the desktop level. Can we delete it?
Of course you can, but first of all, let's find out why here, because it's not supposed to. Remember here, I have them here in this field here, and here I deleted them from here. Okay, they were removed, so they were not supposed to flow into my attributes. So if you look at my attribute result here, they are not supposed to be there. But if you look at the metadata here, you can see that it's coming in here. Right.
Well, then do you look at the one in status? The one on status, they said no match field is ignored.
Yeah, that's because, remember, we are replacing.
Okay.
So in the one that we did yesterday, this field, we are not there. So because we are replacing, Tableau, we try to map each rows in that existing table from the one that we're trying to put. For example, this market return, we were not there yesterday, but now we just put them there. Okay, so it's showing us that this one field is is ignored. Field is so you can see here that it's ignoring this field even though we need them because we are replacing the one that we had yesterday. We didn't have
another
this.
one.
So now Tableau says is going to ignore this field. So now we find that we might not need to replace this data because if we replace them, we are losing field. And we can also say, okay, let's rerun this flow again, or we can say, okay, since we're having this issue because SQL is not letting bringing in all what we have here because they are not presently there, let's just create a new table, okay? And then we can go back to our database to say, okay, let's remove this field.
Yeah.
We can just delete this field. Yes, delete.
So that one is gone.
Gone. Let's refresh. And let's close this. And let's go back to our database again. Let's check on Superstore and tables. So it's no longer there now, so it's gone. So now let's fix this again and let's create a table. So now it's bringing in everything correctly the way we want it. And then let's run this flow. Oh, 8 seconds. Nice. And now let's right click here and let's refresh our database. Let's go back in here and see our table. So we have our data source here. Okay. We have everything we want. Now it looks good. Why is one showing error? Invalid column market ready. We'll check that out. Okay, so everything here looks okay. Now we have those not returned, yes returned, and blah, 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 blah. So we can now start doing our query in the database. Like, okay, let's select let's select maybe, let's select row ID from this database. You execute, it gives you only row ID. Let's say you want to select only row ID and put on ID only. If you run it here, so I'm going to give you that. I can say, okay, let's pass in some where clause where sales is greater than, let's say, $500. And if you run it, so these are all of the, if you count your rows here, we have 12,000 rows for this product ID where the sales is greater than $500. Let's do like 1,000 now, and let's select 4,000 item sales. We are above $1,000. You can also pass in some additional where clause to say where let's say country. Do you have the country equals to, let's say, Nigeria? You want to see where sales is above $1,000 in Nigeria. Let's see execute. Oh, there are 2 items that you have sold in Nigeria that we are above $1,000. This is how they compare. So now this is just to introduce you guys to SQL and all that, but just follow what you'll be doing, and let all this form your experience. What have you been doing? What have you done? Your past experience. Tell us what you've done in the past. Relate with all this, what you've done. SQL, transforming data using Tableau Prep, then investigating your data, then pulling this into Tableau. Now let's say here with our transformation is done and it's complete. They want you to build a report on this. You cannot go into Tableau desktop. Which I have 3, 4. Let me use 4. Go to your Tableau desktop. And let me add this. Let's go to let's bring in our data from the SQL Server. And I already have my login credentials in there, sign in. And you're gonna ask me which database I want to use. I'm using Pastor. I want to use this the data that we just transformed. I can put that in here. Click updates. For now, I'm going to leave it extra live, but extract is our target. When I have all my data, this is our hard work. Okay, I want to know how many amounts of items were returned. For example, I can use this return, for example. So now we see that we have returned and not returned. I can just quickly drag in my sales in here, and I can see that the total sales of our product is 21 million, but out of the 21 million, 1.5 million items were returned. I can say, okay, which year do we have most returned item? Okay, I can start asking a question, which year do we have most returned item? Okay, I can quickly bring in my year here. And
states, we can use states.
Yeah, you can use state, and I can bring in my sales in here. Let me flip this. I'll use this as a bar chart, for example. I can see that we have, now this is my sales, but the question is, which year do we have most returned? So I can just quickly bring in my item that is returned in here, and just click on return only. Boom. So I can see that we have most returned in 2014, and followed by 2017 and so on. You see what your hard work is doing. And
so the same data we have in the SQL is what we are using right now.
Yeah, it's what we're using right now. That's the purpose of, remember this graph here. You extract your data from multiple locations, from Excel, PDF, other data source, you transform it, and then you load it. Now, after loading, you start visualizing here using Tableau to develop dashboards, scorecard, and build reports. And when the report meets requirements, your users start using your report to make business decisions.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is what we jumped on now. We can start giving our users a lot of reporting. Well, look at your effort from these multiple files here. You transform it into this gigantic file, and now you're building your reports. So imagine you doing an interview and they say, tell us what you've done before. Oh yeah, in my past project, I've extracted data from multiple data sources, from SQL Server, SAP HANA, Oracle, PDF, Excel, CSV, transform it using Tableau Prep to meet requirements, validate the data, investigate and validate the data. Finally, I load the data into SQL Server, which is your data warehousing, and then I develop reports using Tableau and building various dashboards, scorecard, and reporting for my end users to use to make business decisions. That's it. you understand?
Yes, so we are still on the first stage of the data preparation.
Yeah, of course. Again, if you understand how some of these functionalities work, there is no data preparation that you cannot work on. You just simply taking it step by step, knowing what you want to do it step by step until you reach your flow. For example, I have something I have to work on tomorrow using Informatica, because in my company did not give us the capability of scheduling our Tableau Prep, which is to me, I'm still going to push it. I need that Tableau refresh to make life easy. So now I'll do something in Tableau Prep. I have to translate it in Informatica, and if I'm able to get it done, then I'm done without that report just work on itself until I need any other change. Okay, so it's not like as if you are in the first page. You just need to understand, get your hands on it, and know how to manipulate data based on requirements. Like I said, there is no one way. Just understand what the users are looking for, and then you come up with a solution. But know how to use various functionalities within the Tableau Prep. That's your job. Hello. Any question? Because from next week, we're going to do more of ETL and then SQL doing, let's say we want to do join in SQL. We're going to do some practice on that. But one thing I don't like is writing complex store procedures. I don't like it. Personally, I don't, because why give myself headache when I can use Tableau Prep or Informatica to solve my problem? So if you want to go into custom complex store procedures, then there are resources I can give you, but I'm not the one to teach you that. That's why I don't put it in my report. I mean, in my class, it's a whole lot of headache. Store procedure is hard to engineer. For example, that said that there's a store procedure that's almost 15 pages, right?
See, I mean, okay, I showed you. As a matter of fact, I was even wanted to mention it. There's a new requirement that I have, since last week. Do you know what? I've been waiting for the data. The manager said the guy that wrote the last SQL query is going to write another new one, and then put all of those together, and it is when those are ready that I can start working. And I said, well, though I deliberately said, okay, that's fine, but I felt that if I know exactly where the data are stored and all of that, I can go in, and since I have Tableau Prep.
Yeah, just extract your data. You don't need all this crazy long code, because
exactly. So
something, for example, imagine you want to do what we did now with store procedures, all of this, and you want something is not right somewhere. You have to troubleshoot each line of code. Each line of code. That's why I don't like it. So I don't want to learn it. That's just the truth. I don't want to learn store procedure. I don't. Because if I was 20 years old, I can say, okay, maybe I still have a long time to go. No. In the next 20 years, or I'm not sure I want to be in this field anymore. So I don't want to put myself. So, but
okay, I'm even thinking of maybe by tomorrow or Tuesday when I have a meeting with the manager, I'm thinking maybe I can just ask him, let me know where the data are. Let me put them on the Tableau Prep.
Yeah, you have to start taking charge of your data.
Yeah, so that let the guy also continue to do whatever he's doing. So
yeah. But again, if they give you those top procedure, I mean those long query, all you have to do is, for example, if you let me go to data source, add new data source here, and we go to SQL, you connect. So once they give you that sub procedure, all you have to do is just come just like this, open, just go on any of the total base that are using. You see this new custom query, just double click on it, copy those code and put in here and click OK. It brings the data for you.
It brings all the data for me.
Yeah, that's what you do. let him give you those top procedure and query. Come here, instead of pulling the table, click on new SQL query, copy those code and put them here and click OK. That's it.
Okay, bring out all my data.
Yeah, I bring it all for you. So let the guy write audio crazy query. I mean, some people love query, don't get me wrong, and I respect them a lot. Like my boss, he liked Python. You know, each time he tell me, like, we create a Python script to do this, I just listen to him. What does he want to do? I listen, I take note. I just go and use Tableau Prep and do my thing there and give them the results. And case closed. I can't keep myself.
Sincerely, it makes life easier. All this,
You know,
even at the level of interview, they'll be asking you SQL and all of those
yeah,
things.
just tell them
Requirement of this whole world.
support them that you develop a lot of awesome query, but on the main job, you make it easy. All they want is results. Give them is what in the interview. Yes, tell us your SQL level, 10/10, 8/10. Just give them like if you ask me about Python in an interview, be sure I will give you some good stories. No, but when I come to the job, I know I have my secret. Even though my company does not have Tableau Prep, I don't mind how much is Tableau Prep individual use, like $40 a month. I'll get it myself and use it to get stuff for you.
Easy for myself.
You know, it's very useful. It's very useful. Remember, it's not those that work hard that make the money, it's those that work smart. Okay. All right. So now, do we want to practice this on our own? I'm going to give the newbies some video to watch because next week we're going to dive into query, doing some joining, querying some data, doing some join. I had to like create, you know, some query to join data and just also bring in those query here without bringing in your table. You can use custom query to like pull in table here like I just should have done now, and just bring in your data instead of doing join in Tableau or desktop. So know how to do it differently and choose how you want to do it, which one is easier for you. Okay, that's the purpose of this. You can just bring, for example, I want to join this table here right now. I want to join with the return. I can just do this. So now I'm joining with other ID and other ID here, and so this is the new relationship in Tableau. So I'm joining, but I can also write some code to join these two here at data source level. I mean, in SQL, just copy that code instead of me doing my join here. So I'm doing my join here. I'll just bring in this custom query and put my code here and click OK. It still gives me the same thing. Okay, so we're going to do that next week. Anyone that is easier for you. And Tableau you can, for example, this new Tableau is very nice. I can bring in my other table here. Let's say I want to join this return and people to this. I can double click inside here now, join this return ID with this, do some join here. I'll do my left join here where region is equals to region. I'll do my full left join and I'll close out. So now I have a join here and I can also bring this in here as a relationship. So I have a join data as one data to join with this as a relationship data. I'm going to explain this to you how this works. This is like a little bit funny. I call it let me not say it, but it's like a relationship kind of joining. It's very nice.
Lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah, this what you are showing here. Those two data sources that we had, that the global and the US data source, can also do all the cleaning, all the this thing without going through the.
No. I'll tell you, hell no. Don't do a lazy man job. Yes, you can do a union here. For example, I can bring in this order. Let me remove this, for example. Okay, let me say I want to combine this other table here from this one here. I can do a union. I just want to click out. I can do a union here, a union here, but you can't really do cleaning here. You can only do like minor cleaning and few cleaning, but you can't really do all this ETL that we do here. And again, if you are working with large data set, don't try to do a lot of complex cleaning. You're going to affect the performance of your report. Remember, if you write calculation, Tableau, we have to loop that calculation across your data and give you the results. So if you have a lot of complex join and this thing here, you're going to kill your cost. Have a lot of bounce rates. People not able to use your report because people are just on the go. They want to quickly view, make decision, and be on the go. Nobody wants to sit with your report and waiting for it to load and dancing like somebody dancing Makosa and so on. Nobody has that time. So don't even think of doing those lazy man jobs, okay?
Okay.
All right. So any question? Okay, now I'm going to give passes. Ejiro, you're so quiet today.
I'm here. I'm learning ETL.
You are not you that is doing it here already.
I'm learning.
Okay, I'm going to open a new instance. And who wants to take a lead? Who wants to take a lead? I want to pass the control to. Don't download this Tableau Prep yet, okay? By next week, I will tell you when to download, and then we can all play with it together and do some exercise, okay? So let's play with mine now. Hey, Jiro, you still have your Tableau Prep, right?
Yes, I still have it. I just need to update it.
Okay, all right. Those of us that are in school, if you know, not those of us, I'm no longer in school. Those people that have like school email ID, you can get free Tableau package for 1 year. Just use your school email and download. So as long as your email carry.yourschool.edu, you can get it for free for 1 year. Sometimes after 1 year, you still keep running. Okay. So who want to take the lead? Let's do some demo. We'll say like 20 minutes. Bayo, do you want to take it? Bayo. Oh, okay. Stop there. Are you here?
Yes, I'm here, but I don't want to take it. I still want to.
If you don't demonstrate it, you cannot learn. You cannot apply it.
It looks scary.
It's not. Okay, imagine somebody's teaching you. Nobody taught me. Nobody taught me. So okay, Bayo, I want you to lead. You. Let me give the control to Bayo. There's Bayo. See, you're even hiding your name from me. Okay, I've seen you. Okay. Now, I want you to see your assignment. Okay, everybody can help him out here. Join this data for the return in the global return here. And in the superstore, we want to identify which items we are returned and items, just the items that we are returned, the product name, that is what we want to identify. Talk out, okay, speak out. So you are teaching us now. We want to identify the product name for the return item. We want to know the location that we are sold and who is the manager for those locations.
Dispute it.
No, go to my data source. Let me, hold on. Let me connect you. Click on connect.
Yeah.
Now, we are using Excel. Go and click on Excel. Now, click on Global Superstore. Okay, just use this. on this global super sub, we want to identify items that we are returned, what are those product names, and who is the manager for those region for the item that we are returned.
Okay, so just drag.
You guys should work as a team. We have 70 more minutes quickly.
Drag return to the canvas. Let's start working together. Okay, so click that plus step. Yeah, clean step.
And with the others too. No, people.
No. That's all. The requirement says we want to see the return.
Items return.
And bring the people too.
Yeah.
Drop the people.
I think I need to shift this one down.
Oh, Lucky, you talk about the items that were returned as well. So apparently,
items that are returned, the managers that are involved, and what's the third one?
actually, apparently, you also need to drop the other. Put the other.
Where they were returned.
Put the other. Yeah, put the others too also. You can put that one on top.
The clean stuff. Okay.
Right, so we want to start with.
We're going to merge them together. How do we do the merge?
Right.
So the next one is to put the people on top of the return.
No. First of all, I think we need to join people with the order. So check. Let's click on that bar, that strong bar, long bar. Let's see what relationship they have. Wait.
No.
Here, wait, hold on. On the order, we have clean 3. We have clean on it. So we have
clean 2.
Wait, clean 3.
Yeah.
If you look at your columns,
yeah,
we have row ID, order ID, all of those.
Row ID, and order date.
And all the rest of them. Now, click on the people, that's clean 2. And we want to see what relationship they have, first of all. We already know that. So apparently the relationship that they have is region. So we have to join at the region level. So now you can drag clean 2 to 3 or either one. Join, no, I join, no, we don't join, we are doing union.
Yeah, okay, I should let me go back.
Hey, Jiro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also had to this add your voice.
So from
so drag it to you to join.
To 3.
You can see join as
join.
Just drop it there.
Join, yeah. So,
okay, so you can now let's name them. First of all, that clean 1, clean 2, and we can just name it.
If you rename this one, should I put people 1?
Call it whatever it is. Maybe you can start with people.
People 1. Okay. People, yeah.
Then the other one, name it. No, when you want to name, you click on that name, on that
yeah. Then this other. Okay.
So do we have order in the previous one, but maybe other step or other whatever.
Okay.
So that people step. So the other one, so you can name it to people step.
People step, yeah. Okay.
Okay, so click on that join join one. Click on it. No, wait. Click on that. Yeah, click on it. We want to investigate our data. So if you drag this this data, if you drag it a little bit up, you will see that there are some things are not joining properly. So drag it up. So what did you notice at the left? And
The other one is greater than. We have excluded just 5,000.
so because they are joined at the they are joined at the central level, so they are not pulling together. So what do you think we can do? Just think of what we can do so that we can do quickly. I think we need to do left join. So click on that.
Left join.
Yeah. So that one is sorted.
We've sorted out.
The other one, what do we do? Wait.
Oh.
One is still left out. One item
is still left out. So that one, we need to fix that one.
This one item that was left out.
Please, guys, excuse me a minute.
Requirement says we want to identify the returned item, the name of those products, and other information, and the managers for those returned items. Follow the requirements.
Well, we still have one item that is excluded here.
Hey, Julie, can you help them out, please? The requirement is we want to identify the return item, okay, which product we are returned, and other information relating to the return item, and also the managers responsible for the for those items.
Okay. Which of the tables have return? Let me see. That's what we are supposed to do first. Let's see which table has the returns.
No, she has here return, people, and order. It's okay. So Bayo, listen to it, Jiro.
Okay.
Listen to me, I'm still learning it yellow. Okay.
No, I to be like superstar here now. You put to shine, please.
Wait, where is it? I can't see the return. Where did?
It's on top, the first one.
This first one, this is return. This is people, and this is the order.
Okay, so we want to see what products were returned and the manager responsible.
The sales for the returns, the profit for the returns, every other thing, but we want only the returns details and the managers responsible for those returns.
Okay, and drag out don't add order, drag out order. Since we're just looking for people and returns, so that should not be in our data order.
No, hold on. Buyer, wait.
Okay.
Look at our return here. It always have return and the order ID.
Order.
It doesn't say what the product, which product was returned, which category it belongs to, which subcategories. So
that's under the orders, right?
Yes, we need to know the return details. So whether the category, the subcategories, the state, and everything, we need to know them. But I mean, also the managers responsible for those return items.
So the manager will be gotten from the people, while the return and the return item will be gotten from the order ID.
Yes. No, all of the other details. This is very simple. Okay, let me remove this. We have the returns here. This is the return. But if you look at the table, we only have the order ID. It does not tell us which product was returned. It doesn't tell us where it was sales, the locations, the date it was sales. So we need all of those details. We need to know the product, what is the product name that was returned, and so on. So you can only get all those return details in the order here, because these are the details. Everything here is the details. Then we need to know the managers from here. It's very simple.
Do a left join to the On return, do a left join to others, then also do a left join to people.
Right. So join order and return
And people, left join.
left join.
No, do
Order and people.
No, to return, not to people. To return.
Oh, yeah, you didn't do, you're not doing well. Drag it and leave it on the join. Once it highlights join, then leave it in the join once you highlight. Yeah, leave it. No, you didn't do it. Drag. It has to highlight. Once it highlights, then you drop it.
Just like what we were doing on that dashboard, where you get to where you want to drop.
No, Bayo, look, Bayo, leave it. Look at Bayo. Just drag this. You see now, it's not highlighting yellow on the joint stuff. Then just leave it. Okay.
Yeah.
So quick, we have 6 more minutes. Let's get this done. This is a very simple requirement.
There you go.
So do a left join. Like, hold on, do the left join so that we get down on out.
Yeah. Then we do people and
we have 48.
We see about 48,000.
We have 48,000 excluded.
Yeah.
Excluded.
48 excluded. Should it be right?
And clean one is for returns. Do a what did you say, Dada?
If it's a right join.
No, I was asking to check the right. That's not even a right join. What you did is a full join.
Remember the requirement, follow the requirement. We want to identify the return item, but we need the details of those return items and the managers. Okay, leave it at a left join, because if you have a left join, everything in the returns is there. Absolutely, so yes. Be excluded, we don't need them. Exactly, that's it. You can even do inner join. It's still going to give you the same results. Yeah. Okay, so go ahead. So join people to returns also.
So the one in front.
No, buyer, no.
The one in front, yeah.
Like I said, for me, I only like to add a step first, but you can still do the join here on your join. It's up to you.
Look for that orange before you drop, yeah. Do left down.
2, 3.
Left.
Okay, you are good. It's good.
I should click left join then.
You can do left join, but that one is, yeah, good. So you can name that.
So we have
people plus order.
People plus return plus order. That's everything there.
Yep. People return.
So we still have 3 people excluded in the region. I mean, 3 regions rather.
Those ones are not compulsory because all the information you need is in the other part of the return.
So don't do that, buyer now. Just go and no. Buyer, no.
No, I want to put the name.
Yeah, I've done it. Then click a forward.
What did you want to do?
I'm trying.
Just add
Okay.
a step to preview your results. And if you need to do other cleaning from there, you just clean. Remember, it's a flow.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right. This is what they are looking for. They want to identify all of the, so you can see that on your return, everything here is yes. So these are all of the return items, and these are the details. Now, if you want to preview this now, for example, right click on that, right click there, and click on preview in Tableau desktop. So this, you can preview this outcome of your data just with Tableau. Is going to bring up a Tableau desktop for you. So now, hold on. Let me take the control. So now we can preview that all of these are the return items. This is the total sales for my return. And these are the profits I was supposed to have get for those return items. But now we don't have those profits because they were returned. And which markets, for example, which market those items were returned, only for sales, and who are the managers for this market? You can now bring your person right here. So you can see that you have this managers for this market here, and this is how the return was. Now, the reason why you have so many managers in this market because you have different states. For example, if I bring in the region here, let me bring in the region here. You can see that this region central is for NORA, Shelley for the North America, Oceania, and so on. So this is what they were looking for, and you just did it. Again, try to understand the requirements, okay, and just do it. And okay, how can you use this data to solve it? All right. Any question before we call it a day? I'm going to send out the assignments. Everybody can attempt it, but for the newbies, please do. Bayo, Topman, and Kizzy, please attempt it. And I will upload these videos as well. Okay, attempt it. It gets your hands stronger in it. All right. And should we do Power Query? Because out there, I know we did Power Query. Do we want to do Power Query?
Yes, let's do Power Query whenever we as soon as we can.
Do you use Power Query?
Power Query is good, yes.
Yes.
Because they use Power Query for QA.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. So I will put that in our next schedule. But try and do the assignment I'm going to send out. Watch those videos. Take notes. And again, have this picture in mind that this is what you do day to day. Extract your data, transform, load, and you build your visualization, and the users use it. I'll send this out to everybody as well. So just keep this in your desktop. In your interview, when they're asking you what do you do, follow this sequence. And then how do you transform your data? That is what we just did. How do you load to your data warehousing? We did that. How do you visualize? We did that. Okay, and we'll do some users interaction. That will be during our interview preparation. Okay. All right. Any question?
We're going to.
All right. You all have a good weekend. No, a good week ahead, and be on the look for the assignment.
Okay. So.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.
Thank you so much.
Good night.